Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's not Saturday night, it's the 8 PM show. Back in the studio, no more beach vlogs. Gutted and no more signings for Manchester United. Possibly. We'll be talking Harry Maguire, Boateng, Alderweireld and what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. But also, Super Brew. For people who are thinking, what is he on about? It's not a certain type of beer. I've not had too many of them. This is our United Stand Predictor League. The link is in the video description. We'll talk about it more a little bit later in the show, but it's free to play and the link is in the video description, so make sure you get playing the United Stand Premier League Predictor game. It's back for another season. Bit of fun there. Also, let's start off then with the latest Manchester United transfer news. Lots and lots to discuss tonight. Comments from Alexis Sanchez. Want to talk a little bit how perceived little clubs are spending big money and we're not. What's that all about? Darmian and a few other things as well. But let's start off. Jerome Boateng is apparently going to go to PSG. This is being reported by Le Parisien. He's going to snub Manchester United to go to PSG. And Harry Maguire wants to come to Manchester United, but Leicester are resisting. So let's start off with Boateng. Jose Mourinho clearly wants this player. Clearly wants him. BBC sort of confirming it. A lot of other people talking about it. And this is what I was trying to say to you the last few nights. You can obviously have a go at the board about how they are not backing Jose Mourinho. I totally agree with that. But what about if the targets he wants are people like Jerome Boateng? Now, I don't just look at Boateng in the World Cup. I do watch a lot of football. And most of you will know a lot about Jerome Boateng. Going to be 30 in 3 weeks' time. Used to play for Man City. And his injury record, especially over the last 2 years, is atrocious. Not necessarily long-term injuries, but all sorts of injuries. So we are going to sign another 30-year-old to play in the to play in the 30 Love Club, the Jose Mourinho 30 Love Club, with no future prospects at Manchester United other than to come in and be a short-term Mourinho fan club, short-term player. What do we get as Manchester United fans from Boateng coming to us? City fans saying, ha, you're taking our rejects. Bayern Munich saying, we never thought we'd do this twice. We gave you Schweinsteiger as a crook, and now you're going to crooked player, and now you're going to take Boateng off us, and we're probably going to pay 40 million for the privilege. Fortunately, it looks like Boateng has turned us down, because this is what I'm on about with Manchester United. It's like, we talk about, oh yeah, Mourinho's not being backed in the transfer market, but look at some of the things he does in the transfer market. Look at keeping Fellaini. Like, the club were happy to let him go, and Mourinho was begging, even letting Fellaini slag the club off publicly in May, and they still beg him to stay. And he's back in training now. And Boateng, most Manchester United fans wouldn't go near him. Beyond his injury record, beyond his age, beyond the fact that he's a Man City reject, and beyond the fact that Bayern Munich can't wait to get rid of him, he's also very slow. So not a player for me at Manchester United that I would want, and not a player I would suggest that we want anywhere near our club. Some people would say they want Harry Maguire. I like Harry Maguire. We've got less than 24 hours to go now. We've nearly got 20 hours if you're watching the live show. But I just want to say, for the love of God, stop banging on about Boateng, says Byron Leopold. For the love of God, Byron Leopold, go and watch a Liverpool fan channel. Boateng is all over social media at the moment, and it is fast breaking news, and this is a live show. Don't like it, go and watch your Liverpool fan channel. Hargreaves as well as Mark, another crock we got given by Bayern. Good point from George Kyle. Jose wants to run 4 centre-backs and 2 full-backs this year, says Jake Busler. Jose needs to go. I'm convinced of it, says Mr. Johnson. Mourinho is a joke, says King Cushy. I think, look, I back Jose. Everyone knows I do. But if he got Boateng, not the sort of signing that I think Manchester United need in a million years. Harry Maguire, I like Harry Maguire. I know he had a good World Cup and a lot of people are jumping on that World Cup bandwagon. You shouldn't do that. But I think Harry Maguire had a very, very good season for Leicester last season. And to be fair to him, the way he plays in the World Cup is the way he's been playing in the Premier League. There is an element of risk for him because it's a big step up from Leicester to Manchester United. But he's Premier League proven. He's very, very good at set pieces. And I would take him every day of the week over Jerome Boateng. I don't actually see a hell of a lot of difference between them. Apart from I think Maguire can be better and will be better because Boateng's finished. So can we get Harry Maguire? Look, this is what I want to come into this point. £60 million would probably get us Harry Maguire. What are we messing about at? Van Dijk cost £75 million. John Stones cost 50 million a few years ago. 60 million for an England centre-back who's 25 is about right. Why are Manchester United bartering over figures? Why wouldn't we pay 50 million for Sandro, 27-year-old, 3 times Serie A winner, Champions League finalist, one of the best left-backs in Europe? We won't pay £50 million for him. But apparently we agree personal terms with him, but we won't give Juventus the money. Watford, rumoured to be spending £60 million on Guedes, who was at PSG and Valencia and played in the World Cup for Portugal. Wolves, just about to sign Dendoncker. They're signing loads of players. Seri, the Nice midfielder, goes to Fulham. Felipe Anderson's gone to West Ham. Big money being spent by supposed minnows of the Premier League. United not willing to spend any money. This is a problem. This is a problem now. Manchester United have got more money than any club in the Premier League, certainly more than Fulham and Wolves and everybody else. But we're not spending money. But we're meant to be the club that dreams the dream, the theatre of dreams, winning titles. And as I've said many a times, we've not improved on last season at all. So what's that all about? What is it all about? Is it a fear of backing Mourinho because they think they're going to sack him, which I don't think is true? I personally think they just don't want to spend money. They don't want to spend money, and it's like Simon Stone, the BBC journalist, said this morning. Manchester United don't want to spend big money on players that aren't better than what they've got. Well, who are they trying to sign? We're trying to sign Southend centre-back because he's better than Phil Jones. So, surely we can get him for $1 million. If you're talking Harry Maguire, Alderweireld and Boateng, I'm sorry, even Boateng's better than Phil Jones. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think Manchester United don't like spending big money. Son Goku Ian 97 says, my mate James Maddison, Leicester player, Maguire on. There you go. And Man United need leadership in all areas. 29 to 30-year-olds, you get that, says Chris Ollie. I totally disagree with you, Chris. It's your opinion. There is a press conference from Jose Mourinho tomorrow at 9:30, and Draxler says there's going to be fireworks at that tomorrow. Well, obviously, it's going to be a very interesting press conference from Jose Mourinho. I think we will do a quick reaction to it at about 9:15 tomorrow morning, because I am intrigued to see what Jose Mourinho is going to say. The transfer window won't be shut then, but he may shut it down then. He's done it in the past. There'll be no signings today. That is my fear for Mourinho tomorrow. Hopefully that won't be said, because I still hope that we can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but it's looking difficult for Manchester United at this stage, isn't it? And to be honest with you, we went into this transfer window needing a left back, a right midfielder and a centre back, and with less than 24 hours we still need the same. It's shambolic. Answers need to be asked. I think most Manchester United fans are just in shock. I think the reality will start to bite very soon when the football starts and the transfer window door slams shut. We ain't getting a left back. The best we're going to get now, I think, is a centre-back. 3 weeks ago, I said to you, United are going to make 2 signings. They want to make 3. What has gone wrong? That was the agenda. Mourinho even, that's not me spouting that. BBC, Bill Rice said it the next day. Jose Mourinho said it in interviews. What has gone wrong? Why? We've not even, is Rojo going to go? I mean, people are forgetting that. If Rojo stays, what a joke that is as well. When we're not only keeping Jones and Smalling, we're also keeping bloody Rojo. Damarcio said it's highly likely United could keep Darmian. I mean, Darmian played 8 games last season. 8 games. And some of those were as a sub. Fosu Mensah played 21 for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. We're loaning Fosu Mensah out to keep a player that Jose hardly even played last year. And again, we're doing that because Darmian's near the 30 love club, isn't he? He's close to 30. It is a shambles. I can't defend it. I don't even know where to start tomorrow night because they can't rescue this transfer window. It's impossible to say. It's impossible. I don't think now we're going to do well. I personally am going to say what I think for a change. 1 deal, 1 signing, centre back. I think that's all that we're going to get. A centre back. A bloody centre back. I mean, I felt at the start of the transfer window that a centre back was nice, but it wasn't essential. I wanted Fred, I wanted 2 midfielders and a left back, and a right midfielder to push, and a centre back would be nice. We didn't get the 2 midfielders, but Pereira's been good enough to be a new signing. We've not got the left back, which was a priority. We've not got the right midfielder, and we might get the centre back. I mean, centre back, for me, again, it's just Jose, isn't it? defensive signing, and people can say a left back would be a defensive signing, but a left back brings balance to the team and progression down the left flank. That's what the left back was for, really. But another defender, when he's already bought Bailly and Lindelof that he doesn't play, is now going to buy another centre back. And all this talk about experience is really important. We need leaders. What about when you hit 29, 30? Yeah, you might be experienced, but you might be coming to the end of your career as well, and you just want one final paycheck. You know, you can spin it all sorts of ways. Mark, what is your expectation this season with current signings? League is gone. For me, top 3, Champions League quarter-final and FA Cup or League Cup will be a successful season. That's from Sankadeep. Mate, I've been very consistent about this. If we don't win the league, Jose Mourinho needs the sack. I'm sorry, I know it's really blunt, and it's definitely blunt from somebody who's Jose Mourinho in, but if we don't win the title this season, he needs the sack. And I said this about 2 months ago. I will not have my expectations lowered because of the lack of the expectations from the club. My expectation back in May was that we were going to go out, get the players we needed to get, and challenge for the title this year. We haven't gone and got the players. We probably can't challenge for the title, but my expectations are that we do. And if we don't, he should be sacked. That's as simple as it is. And people can say, well, it's not Mourinho's fault, it's the board's fault, but Mourinho can't win titles without a checkbook. So if they're not going to spend buying players, sack him, get Pochettino in, get Jardim in from Monaco, get somebody in who's got a really good track record for not spending that much money but developing players. That's what Manchester United need. If the Glazers don't want to spend money, stop appointing checkbook managers. Appoint somebody who is progressive in the style that's going to excite people, but is also going to develop the players that we've got, because we are signing and have a lot of good young players. Mourinho is not a good fit for a club that doesn't want to spend money. That's what we need to do. So my expectation is we win the title. And if we don't, he has to go. Do I think we're going to win the title? No. So Mourinho's got to go next year. It's sad, but they haven't really backed him this summer. Top Geezer says, I'm all for giving managers time and backing them, but if he fails to improve on last season, he needs to go. I would like to see Zidane as a replacement. Who would you take as a replacement if he goes? Well, a lot of people talk about Zinedine Zidane, but would Zinedine Zidane not be the same as Mourinho? Comes into the club, I need these signings, doesn't get the signings. That would be my consideration. Glazers need to go, says Rahul. How are you going to do that? You know, answers on a postcard. How are you going to get the Glazers out of our club without causing massive infrastructure problems for Manchester United? And I don't think there's any appetite for fans to do that anyway. And you know, stopping buying shirts, stopping going to the ground, protests. It didn't work once. I don't think it would work again. Mantas says that we almost became an Arsenal FC. Top 4 is good enough for a board members as long as we get to the Champions League. Transfer window a disaster. Can't disagree with that. Breaking Zuma, says Andrew Body, and now knows how to play football, says Garrett T. Jose out for me, Mark, says Damien Hosty. Theatre of Money, says Smile Happy, and we're not going to get anyone, says Taz Cave Caulfield. I must admit, I never thought that we wouldn't be signing anybody, but I do feel quite nervous now, because if Boateng, thankfully, is going to PSG, that leaves us, and we could go back in for Yerry Mina, which would just be a total desperation. I think Alderweireld and Maguire are very difficult deals to do. Alderweireld is, looking unlikely at the moment, to be honest. But a lot can change. Kovacic has gone to Chelsea on loan. But Majestic Hookah said, well, he refused to come to United, even though we've got the Champions League football. I don't know whether there was any truth in that. Alexis Sanchez has come out with some very interesting comments, though, if you haven't seen them. And these are genuine comments from Alexis Sanchez, saying that Manchester United need to be signing top players. Barcelona have just gone and done that with Vidal. That's the sort of signing that Manchester United should be making, in words to those effects. So Alexis Sanchez, another player, coming out, effectively not happy that United aren't out signing better players. And I think Alexis Sanchez, we saw at Arsenal, got quite frustrated by what was going on there. And he could well be getting frustrated again at Manchester United. Very, very interesting. There's a lot of excitement about the season starting on Friday night, but a very interesting week after that, because the Premier League transfer window will be shut, and then I think we have, is it Monday Night Football, I think, or something like that, when we play Brighton. So it's difficult with Manchester United. It's really difficult at the moment, but we will know the answers. Tomorrow night, we're going to know the answers, aren't we? We only signed Sanchez because he was free, says John Malloy. Well, we paid him a lot of money in wages, but yeah, I think that was the attraction. Should just sign Maguire with Rojo, Jones or Smalling going the other way, says Matt Johnson. Yes, I think Phil Jones would be a good signing for Leicester, but I don't know whether Jose would do it. Kovacic is apparently going to get swapped with Courtois, says Ashwin. That's the thing, Manchester United can't deal with Real Madrid without giving up our goalkeeper. But Chelsea are obviously happy to do it. I think there's going to be some business tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be us doing a lot. Sammy Sam says a defensive signing and he's turned Andres Pereira into a defensive midfielder and he'll take the attack out of Fred's box-to-box and have him sit deep as well. This is something beyond the transfer window, Sammy. Once the transfer window is shut, I think all eyes will be on Jose Mourinho and what he's planning to do with the team. G-Unit says, I think the board would buy good signings, not 30-plus-year-olds. Do you think we could win the league with an attack-minded manager and no signings? I think we would be a better team than last season with the squad that we have if we played a better style of football. I mean, you think about it. If you put, I don't know, you put Sir Alex Ferguson in charge, you're going to win the title. But if you put an attack, let's just say Pochettino or let's say Klopp. I don't like to say Klopp, but he does have a brand of football. I don't think you'd win the league under Klopp. I don't think you'd win the league under Pochettino. But I think you'd play far better football that the fans want to see. De Gea in goal, you'd still have to have Valencia at right back. You might get the best out of Luke Shaw at left back. I'd play Lindelof and Bailly. Midfield three, Pogba, Fred, and Pereira for me. I would play Pereira over Matic. I think he's better. And then your front three, you've got Lukaku, Sanchez, and Martial, and that is a good team. Sanchez, Lukaku, Martial on the left, Sanchez on the right. Pogba, Fred, and Pereira, busting with flair and pace. Lindelof and Bailly, strong centre-back pairing. De Gea in goal, Valencia at right back, Luke Shaw. What a team. We've already got that team. The problem is that team won't ever materialise because Jose won't play Pereira over Matic. He won't play Lindelof and Bailly together. He won't play Luke Shaw and he won't play Martial. So what a comment. We have got a very, very good team. But Mourinho's fell out with some of those players that would be in it and he doesn't play expansive football. So it's a very good comment, actually. We shouldn't be all going after signings because actually we do have a good side. Luke Skywalker says, the Glazers and Jose are a bad combination. It's like eating your worst food and having a bad beer at the same time. By the way, we are losing fans much quicker than you can imagine with Jose and our owners. I hope the fans are aware of that as well. I hope the club are aware of that. Football is very different these days in relation to football fans. And whilst many fans will support Manchester United all their life, there is this new breed of fan around the world and in the UK and in England. I'm not saying it's Asian or American or anything like that. Far from it. It happens in England as well. I was going down the street a couple of years ago. I could see a dad walking down with his kids, both in Man City kits. The next year, Chelsea could win the league and they might be in a Chelsea kit because that's the way the football works now. And United, people won't just support United forever. Some will, but some of them will be flippant and they're the ones that United want. Carlos Solis says, I've dreamed of Manchester United signing Sandro, Maguire and Perisic last night before the window closes. I cried myself to sleep. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, mate. Stephen says, we're even short term with our management now. We taken Giggs on after Moyes and he'd had 4 years. Do you really think we'd be in as bad a place? That's an interesting point. If we'd gone for Giggs after Moyes, would we be in a worse situation than we are now? Top Geezer says, we need someone to buy the Glazers out who will reinvest instead of lining their own pockets. Maybe then we can get back to the glory days. And Kunal Singh says, we need a really bad season to overturn things from board to management. Liverpool winning the title would be an icing on the cake. I don't know. I'm personally very bored. I'm very fed up of those sort of seasons happening where we don't win anything or we don't go in the top four. I'm fed up of not, we've had a few of those in the last 6 years. I think we've had 3, haven't we? Moyes gave us 1, Van Gaal gave us 1, so it was 2, where we've not been in the Champions League. I don't want to go back to that again. I really don't want to go back to that again. It's not what I want to see happening. I want United to get some bloody infrastructure. I want United to get some stability. And I want United to play good football and challenge for titles. And I think Jose Mourinho has given us some stability. But it's not good football. And for whatever reason, he ain't getting the players in either. But I do wonder, to be fair to Woodward, I do wonder if the problem with some of these signings is that Woodward's just struggling to get them because he doesn't want to pay massive money for them. Like I say, Boateng's 30 in 3 weeks. Would you spend 50 million on Boateng, who's 30 and got a bad injury record? Would you even spend 30 million on him? Willian is another player that Manchester United and Mourinho want. But again, he's 30 this month. 50 million for him? No. So Woodward would be right. If Willian and Boateng were on his list, Woodward is right to turn them down. Where he's wrong is to turn down people like Alexandro. But anybody else, we don't know who the targets are. I mean, Harry Maguire, you're going to play an English premium anyway. If you can get him for 60 million, I think it's a good deal. But Leicester don't have to sell either. We've got nearly 5,000 people watching, which is fantastic. So please do drop a like on the video and let's see if we can get 1,000 likes while we're live. What do you think of Pereira as right midfielder, says Mustafa Hamada. I think Pereira can play in that position. And I think Pereira's more used to playing that position than the CDM role that Mourinho has given him. Having said that, I do quite like him in the CDM role. I think he's a fantastic player and I think he needs to play regularly for Manchester United. I don't want to make anybody feel too depressed, but the reality is we're going to see a lot of Fellaini this season, which terrifies me. But I think we're also going to see a lot of McTominay, which, again, I just don't get what all he's about as well. So we're going to see a lot of Ashley Young at left-back, again. You know, so the weaknesses of last season are going to be the weaknesses of this season. And with those weaknesses, can you win a title? Mina is a better signing than Boateng. Potential, says Black Cat Games. I got to agree with you. I would take Mina over Boateng, but I personally wouldn't take either. I'd keep the money back and save it until January. I wouldn't spend money for spending money's sake. And also, I think with Yerry Mina, you're looking at another Lindelof, where he's not going to be able to go straight into the team. It's going to take him a while to get used to the Premier League. And is that the sort of signing Manchester United were meant to make this summer? Signings that were going to need time to adjust? No. We were meant to be making signings that were better than what we've got that come into the team. So Alexandro would have been better than Ashley Young. Alderweireld would have been better than Phil Jones. And your right midfielder, Perisic, would have been better than Lingard. So that's the sort of signings we should have been making. Yerry Mina, is he better than Bayu and Lindelof and Jones at the moment? No. So it's a bad signing. Raj Dolaku says Fred, Pereira and Refresh Sanchez should improve us. Add a centre-back and Jose should mount a strong title challenge than last season, which, let's remember, was stronger than all but one team last year. I think we were the luckiest team to finish second ever in the Premier League history, to be honest, last season. I don't know how we managed to do it. I don't think we will finish second next season playing like we did last season. We're going to have to play a different style of football, and a lot of people believe you won't do that. Manchester says Woodward has proven himself bringing many superstars, so it could be the case that we don't want to invest more on Mourinho and we are ready to sack him. If they're ready to sack him, sack him. You know, that's what I think. Let's not go through another year where we wait to be outside the top four again. You know, we're not around forever, and already we've wasted 6 years on bad managements. Kurt Zuma is linked with United. What are your thoughts on that? I don't really know a lot about him. I know he was at Chelsea and he got that bad injury. And I know that Jose Mourinho is a big fan of his. But I don't know really. He's been at Stoke, hasn't he? Stoke on loan. Played quite a few games last season. I mean, again, it's 23 years of age. Premier League proven. To be honest with you, it's probably a better signing than Yerry Mina, to be honest with you. But it does come out as desperation, doesn't it? Let's be honest. It does stink of desperation to be going after things like that at this late stage. Yeah, it's not very inspiring, isn't it? It's not very inspiring. I'm just having a quick scout around. Yeah, it's coming from L'Equipe. It's not going to do us any good buying another Stoke player, is it? The connotations there will no doubt be read out. Mashawan says, this will be Jose's last season. He will be sacked if we have a bad season, or he will walk away. And Praveen says, your thoughts on playing Matic as centre-back if we're not able to sign a centre-back before the deadline? I think it's a really bad idea to play Matic as a centre-back. I've got to be honest with you. Carrick used to play there, and I think he could play there better than Matic could, but we were still weak when we had Carrick there. You need specialists. Jared Pesserman says, there is no shot with this squad. We're coming up about above Liverpool. Woodward has proven nothing. He's a mug who simply cares about marketing and not winning. I did the season preview at 1 o'clock today. If people want to go and watch that video after this one, I've given quite an extensive look at the positives, the negatives, and what my predictions for the season are. And a lot of you have given your comments in there as well. So do give that a watch. But it's looking, if you told me that Darmian would stay, that Fellaini was going to sign a new contract, that we were only going to sign Fred, because let's be honest, Grant and Dalot are not signings for now, are they? I would be like, what are we doing? If you'd said this in May, I would have been, what? And I think what's going to happen is that you normally turn a page with a new season, but we finished with a negative in not winning the FA Cup final, and we had some bad performances in the last couple of months of the season. And it feels like we're just going to jump straight into a continuation. And what worries me is there are many fans who are just not happy. And if that continues into the new season, how does Jose Mourinho turn that around? How does he do it? I ask you. How does he do it? It'd be very, very, very difficult for him to do it. Anyway, let's just do this quickly as well. Super Brew, Premier League predictor on the United stand. As you can see, there is a link in the video description. All you've got to do is click that link, sign yourself up for Super Brew. It's 100% free, and the link is in the video description that will link you that when you do sign up, you will come into the United Stand Predictor League. Now, the way it works is every Premier League game, you just go through and predict your scores. And as you can see here, if you get the exact score right, so I've gone 3-3 with Leicester, that's not my score because I'm not going to tell you what my score is because there's a competitive element to this. So I will be changing all those. I've just filled them in randomly. But if it did finish 3-3 with Leicester and United on Friday night, I would get 3 points because I would have an exact score. If it finished 2-2, I'd get 1.5 because if you get the result right and your score is close. So 2-2 is close to 3-3. If you get 1 point if your result is right but your score isn't close. So if that was 0-0, I've got it right as a draw, but it's not close to 3-3, so I'd get 1 point. So that's how you do. Exact score, 3 points. Close score, 1.5. Right score, so 0-0 when it's 3-3 would get you 1 point. And obviously there's loads of points to play for because it's for each Premier League week. So, link in the video description for it. Click it, it's free, sign up, and that will automatically put you into the United Stand Predictor League, which on the preview shows we'll be coming back to week on week and seeing who's doing well on it. Now also, what you can do is win cash prizes as well, because if you get 5 exact scores, you get a yellow cap. If you get 6, you get a jersey of your choice. 7, 500 quid. 8, £1,000. 9, £10,000. And 10, you can win up to £50,000. And that's for free. You don't have to pay anything to enter this. It's totally for fun. It's the United Stand Premier League Predictor League. It's back again. Loads and loads of people played it last year, and we had a good old laugh with it. So see if you can beat Goldbridge and the crew, and see if you can beat your fellow colleagues and friends on the United Stand community. The link is in the video description for it. Give it a go. Give it a go. Give it a go, everybody. And join the fun, because we will be checking back on it every week. Praveen Thomas says, your thoughts on playing... Yeah, I've done that one. And THK165... Is the debt starting to affect the transfers? The biggest signing we need is a director of football. Well, I've sort of spoken about that a bit, THK, because you've got Watford bidding 60 million for Geddes, reportedly. You've got West Ham buying people like Felipe Anderson. The lower level Premier League clubs have got the funds to go and spend big money, but Manchester United haven't. It is odd. It is really odd. Mustafa Hamada says, to be honest, I don't hate Matic as centre-back. He is good at retrieving the ball. He's slow. Passes which way is okay for a centre-back. That will result in a more dynamic midfield of Pogba, Fred and Pereira. Or Herrera. Well, it might. Since when would he do that? He probably would play Fellaini. So I wouldn't get thinking Pereira's ahead of Fellaini in the midfield options now. It will still be Fellaini ahead of Pereira. So, tomorrow morning you've got Jose Mourinho doing a press conference at 9:30. We'll be live straight after that with the summary of what he said. And then we've got the last few hours of the transfer window. where we will be doing a few videos for you. So keep an eye out for it, because we are going to be somewhere very special tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that on the United Stand. We will be popping up somewhere tomorrow, which I will reveal on the Jose Mourinho press conference reaction tomorrow at about 9:45. So thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and most important of all, sign up to the Super Brew Premier League Predictor through the United Stand. It's the United Stand Premier League Predictor. Bit of fun, free to play, link in the video description, and take on everybody and see how you're doing, because we're going to go to that league every week, so you'll be getting shout outs if you do well. Right. Thanks everyone. That whizzed by. Really enjoyed it. I'll see you in the morning. Last day of the transfer window. What's going to happen? Or, you know, we might be live a little bit later, but I think Ed Woodward's already gone to bed, to be honest. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.